Excellent. Okay, we got that going. So I've got the recording going. And again, I just want to make sure if everyone can hear me okay, put a yes in the chat box. If you're ready to learn about how to create a slew of information products to sell for you 24/7 for absolutely no money down, go ahead and put yes in the chat box. Me. I want to know. So let's see where how things are going tonight. If you don't know how to use the chat box, it's down there on your that little panel on the right-hand side. And Elizabeth says yes. Ted says yes. Good job, people. You guys are ready to go. All right. Well, this is the zero-cost product empire. And what I'm going to go over tonight is creating a massive wealth of products that sell 24/7 with no money up front. And in the past, it was actually quite expensive, especially when I started working in internet marketing, working for Tom Antion. It was very expensive products, and I don't know how he made all the money he did up front to get the products made, but the products themselves made a lot of money, and I was really impressed with how much he made with products, up to $20,000, $25,000 a month, okay, just selling products. In fact, I'd come in every day, and let me try this. Computer's over. I don't know what that meant. Sorry about that. And I'd go to work every day, and we'd go into the product room, and we'd have to fill the orders. There's this giant thing of orders every day in this little logbook. It was literally like 60 different CDs and ebooks and binders and even little things like preloaded flash drives with all sorts of digital files and stuff. That was really cool. Ebooks and stuff. So there's just a slew of products, but it was very expensive. He had to hire out duplicators and things like this. And that could be up to $2.50 per disc. And you had to pay for that up front. And if you wanted a price break, you had to order 1,000 of them. Then you had to make what we call masters and all, just all this stuff. And it was such a nightmare. And of course, being the cheapskate that I am, I wanted to learn how to do all this for absolutely no money, and exactly what I've done. So who am I? I'm here. If you guys, most of you know me, I don't like these long-winded introductions where I talk about, how beautiful my wife is and, how many times I've been to the Bahamas, making money while I sleep and all this other stuff, because it just eats up a lot of time. I want to get right into the content, but I am Colin Martin, obviously, that strapping young lad there standing next to my Jaguar. And I just want to say I did work for Tom for a long time, Tom Antion, for 7 years, and also as his right-hand man and marketing manager, and I was the head instructor of the Internet Marketing Training Center of Virginia. So, but more importantly than that, I made a dream come true just recently, just this year, just really 6 or 8 weeks ago. I just got back from a 10-week gem hunting trip where I went into the wilderness, and it was always been my dream. I mean, literally for 12 years I planned this trip, and I went and meditated, and I lost weight, and I did all this stuff, and I was able to quit my job and leave everything behind, and I didn't go broke in the process. Well, how did I afford that? Well, it was a vast array of information products that had been built up over a number of years that constantly sell. Now, not one of these really, except for a few exceptions, have made me tons and tons and tons of money. Julia says, yay for you, Colin. Thank you. Julia is one of my biggest fans about me going out in the wilderness, and I think she enjoyed it more than I did. Not one of these products I made a living from, again, with just a few exceptions that I'll get to in just a minute. But it's the accumulation of all these things selling all the time with no limitations, 24/7. So I wake up every day, and 2 or 3 things have sold each and every day. So literally anywhere between $12 and even something as high as like $150 every day in my bank account while I was sleeping and doing other things. And that came in the whole time. Jesus, sorry about this. Keep the current content, don't show this message again. Thank you. Sorry about that. Go to webinar, you gotta love it. But, that happened the whole time I was camping. So I was out in the wilderness. I didn't even have any kind of connection to the outside world, and I only checked my bank account like once a week, and every time I looked, there was money in there, and I wasn't spending that much, so it kind of accumulated. But ebooks is the one thing that I created a lot of and been selling a lot of, but I also got into printed books. Amazon, CreateSpace, Lightning Source, Lulu, and Kindle, and all these other things. I was able to create these printed books without any money up front, okay? And I'm going to show you how to do that tonight, and it's fantastic. Transcripts That's a huge thing. That now transcripts, I will say, they don't cost any money to sell and create or manage, and they add a value-added benefit to your product, but you do have to pay for transcription if you don't want to do it yourself. And but there's a great resource called Fiverr, Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, where you can literally get 15 to 20 minutes of transcription for $5, and I've been using it, and it's great. So literally $500 or 500 minutes worth of transcription is a lot of material, and $150 or so. And one-time investment, now you can sell this stuff 24/7. Training systems. These are accumulation of all little CDs, coaching, ebooks, and everything put into one place where people can get everything they need for large amounts of money, which is interesting. And I'm going to share with you tonight the very first major training system I created and how it made a fortune for me. And I'm going to outline a really humorous story about how that came into existence. CDs, as I said, Tom used to have to buy them in bulk, where they'd ship these giant boxes, okay, of CDs. And we would go through them and all this, and they had a storage unit and everything for these things. And now, CDs, I don't have to print a single one. I don't even have to see it. But someone buys it from my site, the CD fulfillment will print it, ship it, wrap it, and send it to my customer without me ever seeing it. I just collect the money. And that's a fantastic way to do it, and I'm going to show you how to do that tonight. And of course, the same thing with DVDs. If you can create MP4 files, you can send those to CreateSpace and a couple other fulfillment companies I'm going to outline here in just a minute that create DVDs, which are great. That's a huge value-added product. You really look like you're the bomb if you're making DVDs, okay? And also binders and workbooks. One thing I learned a long time ago is if you send everything digital, they don't really into it like they should. If you send a physical binder or a printed product for them to fill out like a worksheet, they become more engaged in the product and actually have more of a higher success rate, which leads to more referrals. So physical binders and workbooks, all printed, fulfilled, and shipped without you ever seeing it. Of course, another product is membership sites, where all of this material can be monetized by having it all in one place that someone pays for each and every month. And also, some of these products can be broken down into very small modules, or even old products can be taken and created e-courses, either free or paid e-courses, and you just deliver the content via email, like once a week or once a day or however you want to set it up. Paid e-courses can make you a fortune. What are you going to learn tonight, which is real interesting. We're going to get right to the content, but I want to tell you what you're going to learn exactly in case you don't, you're not familiar with one of my webinars in the past. I'm going to show you where to go to print and see products for free. There's a couple sites that I use that have worked like a charm, and I'm going to go ahead and give those to you. A lot of people keep them secret because we don't want to share all our information, but I like to share my information with my community. And again, I want to thank you tonight for spending the time to learn this, because you being here on this webinar, you're interested in making products. Products will make you money. It will create a whole different image for your business, and you will actually can use these and repurpose them in a number of different ways that can make even more money that just cascades constantly, doesn't make one CD and be stuck with it. So what I want to show you here tonight is how to make a cascading and repeating funnel of products that constantly convert over and over and over. And you're being here tonight proves to me that you're serious about your business and you want to do this for yourself, but you just don't want to do it for yourself. You want to do it for your customers. They're the ones that are crying for help. You're the experts. You are matching expertise with a need, offering a solution to a problem through the use of high profit products that you don't have to pay for up front. Another thing I'm going to show you tonight, how 3 common digital files that are probably sitting on your computer right now can be turned into an empire of information products. I'm literally going to show that to you. Also, this is really important. Everyone asks me, what should I sell with a product or training system? Or how should I bulk and package my products and sell together? I'm going to give you the highest converting trifecta of product offerings. 3 ways to offer products that constantly convert higher. And I'll tell you exactly why when we get to that point. Also, how to print and sell a book you didn't write. I like to write. Very few of us like to write. Some of us aren't even very good at it, and you don't have to be. And I'm going to show you examples of how you can make a fortune selling a book you didn't write, Elizabeth. And what to do with old products. That'll be funny. And this is what you really came here for, I really believe. I wanted to show you how I got paid $1,200 to make a product. I then turned around and sold for $30,000, but not only that, it actually created a far more income after I expanded how far the funnel went on this thing, and just literally made so much I can't even keep count. And you're going to love that. Okay, there's, unlike some of my other webinars and most of the ones out there, there'll be no pitch for a product in this webinar. I'm not going to bother you, make you sit through something. There will be a live Q&A at the end, so if you have any questions, we can get to it. But I'm not going to pitch a product. But when I say no money up front, I'm talking about out-of-pocket cash, okay? What I'm not talking about is an investment in your business. For this to work and for you guys to stick through this with me, you got to promise that you're going to put in an emotional investment and hard work and a good work ethic to make this work. You have to invest in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You can't give up when you hit the inevitable roadblocks, and you can't just give up. This stuff will really make money. It's very easy, but there is some work involved up front. And then just like Tom Antion's get paid model, most people do a job, work, get paid. Do a job, work, get paid. Tom model, and the one that I like to use, is work, get paid, 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 and on and on. What that means is that you work once or create a product and constantly sell that for years to come. We're going to go over how to do that. All right, the first file that a lot of people don't really know the power it holds is the PDF. Simple Word documents that we've written and accumulated, the ebook. Okay, basically it's an ebook, and we all have one, but are we dividing this ebook to its greatest advantage by spreading it out over the largest amount of territory and funnel? Most of us aren't. It's an ebook, and it's probably a customer calling me right now for this new ebook I got. Right. But obviously, a PDF is ebooks that you have on your own site. That's the ones I've been selling for a long time, and a lot of you sell as well. But did you know that you can just sell transcripts on your site? A PDF transcripts of all video and audio tapes are extremely popular. People love transcripts, and they love getting into the dissection of, instead of having to listen to everything on an audio tape, a lot of people like to read. They're visual based, and they absorb the material more, so transcripts are real popular. You can also take that same PDF, now here's your ebook, and upload it to Kindle. Kindle is huge. It sells 24/7, and you don't have to do any work. They're selling it for you. Take the same PDF of that ebook and upload it to CreateSpace and create a printed book that you can either sell right on your site. You can direct people to Amazon to sell it. Amazon will sell it for you through the world's largest shopping portal. And you can even order books, one to however many you want, and take them and sell them at the back of the room. Or I can get my books for literally like $1.80 each. Okay, and then I'll just buy enough to go for my next speech, and then I'll sell them for $20 at the back of the room, and I'll autograph them and do all this stuff. There was a time when Amazon was selling printed books of mine that I didn't even own a copy of my own. I forgot to buy one for myself, so I like to do that too. And then, of course, take the PDF, these ebooks that you have, and break them and dissect them into smaller units. And you can, the information that you have in there can be what we call swipe files. And what that is, it's real material that you use to make money that are usually in some form like a PDF, or they could be accumulated emails or autoresponders or things that you've used money with. People want to know those. They want to buy those, and they want to study those. They want to look at the real material that people use to make real money. And they want the real files that we use. They don't want to try to like make themselves or hand them some kind of manual and say, good luck, buddy. You know what I mean? I'll send you exactly what I use to make money, a real email, and you can just switch it around. Swipe files are really interesting. They're all in PDF delivered form. Also, most of us have ebooks that are 300 and 400 pages because we just love to write. Well, break those down. And this has been a huge moneymaker for me and some other clients that I've coached. that we're breaking down their ebooks into smaller series. Sometimes a 300-page ebook, you can literally break it down into 8 to 10 smaller modules or smaller series of books. Instead of trying to force everyone to digest everything, you can break it down into smaller series on Kindle, on printed, on Amazon, and have now 10 times the reach and power and revenue of that single book. So you want to do that too. So these are just some ideas of what to do with the PDF. What can we do with these video files? The YouTube, all the YouTube videos and stuff that we got. What about, okay, public speakers, what about those speeches, the 3 and 4 hours worth of speech material that you've been taping because someone set up a camera at the back of the room? We have these video files. What can we do with them? Do you realize you can send the video files to Amazon's CreateSpace and they'll print and ship DVDs? You can send in the cover work. You can make it yourself. They'll make you a cover for you. All this stuff for no money up front. You don't have to buy the masters. You don't have to buy the copies. You don't have to do the shipping. Nothing. DVDs of your videos. If you haven't made them yet, then this is a good way to start making videos, and now you have a project of what to do with them. I'm going to sell DVDs on Amazon just because I'm shooting videos now. And it won't cost me anything up front. It's all for free. Amazon will sell them, and they'll send you the money. Another thing that I like to do with video files is video-based training systems. Basically, I just shoot a whole bunch of screen capture videos, basically like a recording of like I'm making here on GoToWebinar, and I'll actually upload them to YouTube in bits and chunks, and then they turn into training modules. And I actually sell that as products. The whole digital product is nothing but a bunch of YouTube videos that you watch on a private page. It's really interesting, and that's something you can do with video files. Also, you can create webinars such as this and run the video through a webinar software as a replay, and keep recording this webinar recording here. I can replay this as many times as I want with a live audience, and I don't even have to be here like talking to you like I am right now. And yes, I am live. I'll admit that. But next time, I don't have to be. I can just run this thing on automatic. And a lot of big guru guys are doing that. Jeff Herring and Tom and everybody else are running automated replays of webinar recordings, and all they are is a MP4 file that gets created from the webinar recording. Also, you can play these on Google Hangouts. And of course, membership content. Okay, we talked about membership sites. The membership content can be a whole slew of different things, such as YouTube videos, downloadable PDFs, swipe files, MP3s, and things like all digital material that you just load on a membership site where people pay by the month to access the information. Also, another thing I like is drip content via paid e-courses. So let's say that someone, say you're a public speaker, and someone says, I want to buy your How to Be a Better Public Speaker e-course. And then you just send them video files, which is just a link to a private YouTube page, and that's what they're paying for. And it's automated. You don't have to do anything. The autoresponders of your, whether you have Constant Contact or any kind of email delivery service, will have autoresponders, Aweber, all that. And they can deliver, as soon as someone buys it, this what we call drip content. So each day they get a brand new lesson, and it's just a YouTube video. It didn't cost you anything, and you're not doing anything to deliver it. Julia says, one tip I found to have an outward-facing spine on CreateSpace, you need 130 pages, but you could combine 2 to 3 small ebooks into a single 130-page ebook or printed book. That's right. We can do, mostly we can do the opposite of breaking the big tomes down. We can put together a number of ebooks, and I've done this, some smaller ones that I've accumulated, and made it a bigger ebook. And I've sold all 4 of the smaller ones and then the big one all at the same time, which is a good idea. Thanks, Julia, for that advice. Okay, MP3s. You guys got tons of these, probably, and you don't even know it. Recorded teleclasses. I recorded all my calls and all my live teleclasses and conferences from freeconferencecall.com. Free, up to like 100 people can be on the line, and they give you a free MP3. And I accumulated a whole year's worth of those. I turned around and also had a blog talk radio show, again, which is totally free, that had an audience of, maybe 20 or 30 a week, but they provided a free MP3 download of the show. And I accumulated about 2 years worth of those. What did I do? I turned around and had literally like 60 files that I sent to Vervante and CreateSpace and a number of different places, and had them turned into CDs that sold on my site, were printed, shrink wrapped, and delivered to my customer without me ever touching it. In fact, I had to, again, buy my own copies to even see that they were actually done that way. And it was really neat. And if you want to buy your own copies, that's cool, and that's a good thing you want to do, because you can sell them at the back of the room. Say you want to buy 30 of them and sell them at the back of a room during a speech or a meetup group. That's great. Audiobooks. Take these MP3s, and now you can go, audiobooks are all rage, and you can go to different sites and sell audiobooks. Podcasting subscriptions. Do you realize podcasting sounds all very complicated, but it's not. It's actually just MP3s that you upload to a place like podcastalley.com. They attract the customers. They collect the money and send people a subscription to a podcast, which is nothing but a bunch of MP3 recordings. And you can just upload tons of those, and you can either give them away for free, or you can sell them, and these people will sell you for you. There's hundreds of podcasting subscription services, and that's what you want to do with your MP3s, and they'll get the customers and send you the money. Again, it's free. Also, on-site MP3 downloads. That means just selling an MP3 on your own website. A lot of us do that, but we don't. We often forget to sell the MP3 and the CD and give people a choice. I either see one or the other a lot on the websites, and you can do both. MP3 on demand. Now we can upload MP3s to Amazon, and they use the Amazon search engine for people to find MP3s, and they sell them just like you buy an MP3 of your favorite group these days from Amazon. They'll sell your information products on demand, and they listen to it, and Amazon will send you the money totally free. Okay. Also, you can go to CD Baby or iTunes and get on the iTunes roster. So when people are shopping on iTunes, your products come up, and that's a very popular place to sell. It used to be, it was very hard to get into iTunes, and it's so much easier to do now. And you upload simply for free, and they sell it and send you a royalty. Again, membership site content, like I just talked about before, a lot of MP3s, recorded teleclasses. A membership site that I have that I made a fortune off of were nothing but paid teleclasses that I was already paid for up front, $20 a pop, and then threw the whole accumulation into a membership site that cost $10 to access them all, years after these teleclasses were over. These were MP3s that were sitting on a file on my computer. Also, again, drip content for paid e-courses can either be video, PDF, or MP3 based. I just outlined, actually it was 21 different revenue streams. And yes, there'll be a recording and the slides so you can go through this again. Created by 3 simple digital files that most of us are sitting around on our computers, and we don't even know the wealth of what we have. Does any of this look familiar? Video files, for instance, we talked about the MP4. What about all the screen capture, Camtasia, and different files that you might have sitting around? What of all those recorded speeches and presentations that we have? I went to a meetup group, and I talked about copywriting techniques. And it was a free meetup group, and a friend of mine recorded it on their camcorder, sitting on the front row. Well, I started to sell that presentation. I could sell it as a DVD. I could sell it as membership site content. I could sell it as a paid e-course. But I talked for free that night, and I turned it into a money-making item. How many of us have those recorded speeches and presentations sitting around? Webinar recordings just like this. Every time I do a webinar, I record it. And I'm going to show you how that made an absolute fortune in webinar recording. So always make a recording of your webinars. Camcorder files. What about all those talking head things, all the YouTube videos we put together, all the advertising, all the training videos that we sent to a client? Do we have all this sitting around? What about audio files? Podcasts from radio shows like Blog Talk Radio. Again, I told you where I had it for 2 years, and then sitting in this folder, and I didn't know the wealth of information that I could monetize. I was just saving the MP3s because I thought it was cool, okay? I actually had them given away for free on the site, like a little radio button here. Click here and listen to my last show. How many people have done that? A lot of us do that. Teleclass recordings through all our teleconferences. And again, recorded speeches and presentations. Always have a tape recorder going. PDF files, all your Word documents. These webinar slides are created with Google Drive. And I have PDF. This is a PDF version of this. I'm going to dun, 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 dun. Yeah, see, this is just a PDF I'm flipping through. This PDF, I can sell this as a digital file. I've sold PDFs of webinar slides and called them fast track guides and things like this. I'm going to show you that in just a minute. Also, video and audio transcripts. If you want to get transcribe all your audio of these MP3s we talked about, all these videos that you have, make them into transcriptions, one of the hottest information products there is. Print on demand services. This is how it's done. Okay, these are how you're going to create these audio and video and books and printed books. They're all called print on demand. And for printed books, the easiest one and the most powerful one is just CreateSpace. And if you haven't made a printed book of your own ebook now, just go to CreateSpace and upload it and go through the process. It's very simple. And get that printed book out and for sale. I sell more printed books of some of the versions than the Kindle ones. I have no idea why. I don't know which one is going to sell more, whether the Kindle or the hardcover, but if I'm don't have the printed book available, then I'm missing an entire revenue stream. And people like that. Again, you can order your own books and have a box of them for your presentations. Vervante is very powerful. They sell printed books as well, and they also sell these binders. I want to tell a story real quick of a girl that I knew was coaching about 3 years ago, and she had a 100-page document of stuff that she had written in Word, and she just had it saved. And she also had 14 recorded teleclasses with a client, just one client that she was coaching over 14 half-hour sessions or something. So that was like 7 hours worth of material. That's all she had. The MP3 recordings from a teleclass call was free, and then this 100-page thing that she had written, notes and stuff like this. We went to Vervante and we sent the MP3s and had 14 CDs printed up, and then she delivered the 14 MP3s in digital form, and then the binder from Vervante in a binder with the plastic cover and the rings and everything like you'd see at Office Max or something. And it was really cool. Okay, the whole thing cost her $85 to print and ship. Well, she was selling it for $1,000, this entire product. So it was all 14 CDs, 14 MP3s, and the 100-page binder in the cute with the 3 rings and everything and covers, and all shrink wrapped and shipped to a customer for $85. So she got to keep $915, and they would buy it through a shopping cart, like one shopping cart or PayPal. They would give her the $1,000. Then instantly, Vervante was notified of the order. They would print it and ship it to the customer and keep $85 and charge her $85. And so she kept $915, pop after pop after pop, being on joint ventures, being on webinars, whatever, teleclasses, everything. She would promote this and keep that $900 a pop, and she never, ever once had to print or own or ship one of those items. They all went out for free. And what the funny part was that she actually didn't own her own system. I actually came over to her house and said, well, let me see your CDs. Let me see this like system everyone's buying. She goes, I don't even own a copy of it. She just sold it, kept the money, and Vervante printed it. Boom. Okay. Lulu.com prints books. Lightning Source, another one that does print on demand. This is 1 to 10,000 or more copies at a time. So you can order just one copy. Anybody can order one copy at a time. They print it and ship it all for free, no money up front. And KD Press is another one. Compact disc services. Vervante, again, is the all-in-one source here, and CreateSpace for making compact discs and DVDs of all your files. Kunaki is an interesting thing. It's a thing that you upload to your computer, and you create the CDs, and it's a little bit more complicated, but you actually process the order and keep the money, and then the software on your computer contacts Kunaki. The computer prints it automatically, their automated machine, and then it sends it to the customer. CDfulfillment.com. cd-fulfillment.com, one of the best places for CD and DVD fulfillments. Again, you send them a file, they take care of the rest, including printing covers, putting them in the plastic jewel cases, shrink wrapping it, and mailing it to your customer, and they just charge you like $2 for that. And you can charge whatever. It could be a $30 CD, and you're going to keep 28 bucks. Digital books. Okay, everyone has heard of Kindle, but how many of us have all our material on Kindle? We should have all our material on Kindle. Why? Because the Kindle and Amazon Kindle is 1,000,000 times more powerful and has 100 million times the traffic than your website will ever dream of having. So if you're only selling an ebook on your own site, you are losing money. Why not put it on Kindle and have that entire avenue of the explosive Kindle market selling all your material for you? I don't just sell Kindle books just for the money. I sell Kindle books to brand my business and to create a larger funnel. In every Kindle book are advertisements and clickable links to my other products, often with a discount for rewarding the person for buying the Kindle book. So if they buy a Kindle book, I'll go, thank you for buying this book and reading about my business and everything. Here's a link to half off my training systems. And from Kindle Fire or whatever, they just click on it, goes through the internet, they end up at landing page, boom, buy. Are we sticking clickable links and more advertisements and using Kindle as the top of the funnel? If not, that's something you want to do. Smashwords. You know what Smashwords is? It's fantastic. It's just like it's a digital platform that sells your ebook in 12 different digital platforms such as EPUB, Nook, iTunes. It lists and uploads all of these, your file, one file that you send will automatically upload to all of those different places. Now you have 12 different places that you're selling your book in 12 different versions, including Kindle on Smashwords, and they do the advertising for you. They process the payment, and they just send you money to the bank account. It can't be any easier, and you didn't have to do anything up front. Okay, this is a pictures. These are pictures of like Tom's. This is when I first started working there. This is like Tom's storage unit. Look at the CDs he had to buy and then try to keep track of. And then look at those books. Okay, I mean, CreateSpace sells 40 or 50 of my books each, the paperback versions. And I've only owned one copy myself, and I've only seen one copy myself, and have to be the proof. Okay, there's people out there buying a book, and I had to buy them or store them. Look at the boxes that he had. That was funny, and I thought this was how you did it. Tom told me a long time ago he went to Dottie Walters and said, "How are you so successful as a public speaker? Besides, being such, commanding such a high fee for your speeches?" And she said, "I sell products. If you want to make money, you have to be a product machine." And I have lived by that piece of advice for 7 years, and it works. Not only does it brand your business and give you a high professional image, it dispenses information in multiple forms to multiple people 24/7. But it was very expensive, as you can see back in the day, to stock up this kind of stuff. You don't have to do that anymore. And here's a secret, don't tell anybody. Tom still does this, okay? It was funny. Tom still prints his own discs. I guess he likes things weighing out. I mean, I guess it's impressive to bring his clients over and his mentees and go look at this giant storeroom of stuff, and they're like, wow. Well, personally, I don't have the room for it because I keep moving from condo to condo, and I don't know where in the world I keep all this stuff. So I'm doing it the free and easy way. Thank you. All right. A product system is nothing more, and this is a big training system, is nothing more than a whole bunch of your smaller digital and physical products all in one place. Okay? Well, what's so great about a training system? Why do they actually sell so good? Clients pay for training systems because, first off, the cost savings over purchasing all the individual products alone. You could have CDs and ebooks and just a whole slew of stuff, but if somebody really wants them all in one place, think of the cost savings that you could advertise to them that not only helps you make more money, but it helps them save money. It's a win-win for both of us. Clients also pay, and here's the big tricky part here. This is the part that is most important people don't think about. Clients pay for systems. Everything they need for success is all in one place. They don't have to search. They don't have to guess. They don't have to sit there and go through an entire site full of stuff thinking, do I need this CD or this ebook, and which should I buy? You put it together for them for the maximum amount of success in the least amount of time. And that's what creates the big products and the big prices that come with them. When you sell a product system, one of the main things that you should offer is a bonus or a couple of bonuses. Now, while we're talking about products here, bonuses are usually either a digital or physical product, and you've seen them a million times. But I want to say something about the product systems and the success of selling them. Your bonuses should never just be something that's cheap or you're giving away that's old and outdated and you don't like anymore, like you're cleaning out your closet. Okay, it shouldn't be an afterthought. Bonuses work best if they're super strong products that could be sold alone as their own powerful item. So if you have something that is complementary to the training system that isn't part of the main training system and it's actually sold on its own, offering it as a bonus creates an irresistible selling point that people cannot refuse. A successful product system, if you're trying to design one with all these products that you're going to make after tonight, is defined by a balance, a trifecta, if you will, of 3 elements. And I have, you know how many times I have tested these training systems to get this down. This is one of my biggest training secrets that I only tell my paying clients about. I'm going to share with you right now. So you want to pay attention. This is huge. You want this, a mix of digital, videos, MP3, PDFs, etc. Also, physical binders, CDs, DVDs, and real books. And here's the big one. Personal. The perfect training system that converts the highest, that will literally change your sales up 200%, tested many, many times, is a complete mix of digital, physical, and personal products. Personal stuff is live teleclasses, workshops, webinars, coaching calls, etc. Why does this work? Let me show you. Digital products first are one element that are easy to deliver. You can start right away. As soon as you buy it, you have access to the digital files. There's no cost of goods sold whatsoever because they're free. They're just selling electrons. And they're accessible on mobile devices and iPads. Good job, but we don't want to stop there. We want to offer physical products. Why? Physical products have a higher perceived value. If people have this binder and it weighs like 10 pounds, they believe, wow, this is actually worth the $297 I just shelled out. This was the same way we used to sell giftware back in the old days. The heavier an item, the more people thought it was worth. It was real funny how we tested that. Another thing, physical interaction increases engagement. Physical products are something that they can hold, that they can open, that they can write in, that they can go back and interact with from time to time as they're going through the training. And that creates a higher engagement. Physical products also have brand awareness. Things are sitting on your shelf in your office or people in their office or at their homes, and they see your brand and your binder and your CDs sitting around all the time. If you have just digital files, they're hidden on a folder somewhere and out of sight, out of mind. A lot of people don't even go through all the files digitally because they forget about them. Meanwhile, if you have books and CDs sitting around, it creates a brand awareness. They're constantly seeing your name. Physical products also, you can take those products and share them with people. Like printed books, the best thing that ever happened to a printed book was somebody giving it to somebody else. Now, you're probably thinking, why in the world do I want someone to share something of a physical product if they don't buy it? I don't want them sharing my stuff. Well, actually, sharing products, people don't share the whole system. They usually just share one thing, like one CD or one book, and we pass it around to our friends. Those people who get that stuff become future clients. They get to read a book or they listen to a CD and go, man, I want to buy that system, or I want to hire that guy as a consultant. So you're able to share. It goes viral, so to speak, in a physical manner. Also, it looks more professional. If you've got real binders with real graphics, with really cool CDs that are printed professionally by CreateSpace on Amazon, and people get this and they get this big package in the mail, and they open it up and they go, man, this dude looks awesome, or this lady looks professional. You know, it just creates an entire new look and image for your business as a consultant or a coach or a small business person without spending any money at all. Do you remember how much it used to cost to make a bunch of stuff to look really cool? Business cards, brochures, and all this. It used to cost a fortune. Now you don't have to do that. But here's the big one. Personal products are the ones that when you add a personal element to your digital and physical training systems, you will create a massive amount of value that people cannot refuse. And why? Because people don't really want to be sold just a manual of stuff. They want their hand held, and they want a do it with them program. And if you have that, you've just upped the value of everything you sell 1,000-fold. Holding hands is a valuable selling point. Live workshops increase success because people can come and ask questions of you, and you answer them, and it gets them motivated to stay and in the training longer. If they become more successful, they're going to tell all their friends, and you're going to get referrals. It just happened to me this past month where I signed up 2 people to my new coaching program, and they told 8 other people, and I don't even know who these people are, and they just came out of the blue, and they said, oh, well, Cindy told me that, and showed me some of your stuff, and I'm like, wow, it's great. Referrals, that works if you increase your client success. Also, it creates exclusivity. Live workshops are only for customers. People just can't jump in there and do whatever they want or give it away for free. Exclusivity is something that people pay more for. Now you have an exclusive right to charge top dollar for your training system. Live workshops are also, and here's the biggest way to make money with the personal element and selling digital and physical products, is live workshops are nothing but an upsell, basically, for high-coached or high-priced coaching. So when I sell the training system and they get the whole digital stuff to listen to on their iPad, then they get the physical products that they can read and do the workbook and put them on their bookshelves and share with their friends. Then they come to the workshop and I tell them updated information to answer all their questions. I have a captive audience of people that just already spent $200 or $300 on a training system that really are looking for a one-on-one coaching experience so that they can reach success as fast as possible. And you're able to upsell personal coaching through a live workshop. Now you're talking $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 clients. But you have to get them into the funnel, and they have to see the value, and they have to reach results before you can start pitching those kinds of products and the kinds of coaching. All right, this is the good part. How to create and sell a book you didn't write. Okay, well, how can you sell a book? And I was talking to Vicki here. I said, do you realize I'm going to show you a secret tonight where you can make a fortune on Kindle without writing a single book? I don't think Vicki's much of a writer. I mean, she likes to write, but who wants to? It's a lot of work. I wrote a novel, and, for as little as I'm actually selling of the novel, for how long it took me to write, I'm not sure if I want to do that again, even though it was really refreshing. That was a pain in the butt, man. Okay, how you write a book, how to sell a book you didn't write. First one is interviews with experts in a field. If you don't know everything, just interview experts that do. And you are the arbiter of this fantastic amount of information that often isn't in one place. Or if it is in one place, it's old, outdated, or garbage, or crappy, or whatever. And now you can go out there and create brand new information portals just by interviewing experts. Elizabeth did this, one of the people on my call tonight, and she's done it successfully by interviewing PR people and learning, and she's writing a book about how to get a job and write resumes and all this other stuff. And so she went right to the big companies, interviewed the people that do the hiring. This is information that you can never, unless you're one of those guys, you can never come up with. And think about the other 200 or 300 other opinions other than your own that you're actually having in this book. Here, user-generated content. This is a friend of mine, and Elizabeth says, it was a blast to do. Well, cool, Elizabeth. I'm glad you had fun with it. That would have been great, and people love to do that. This user-generated content, this is a friend of mine called my3things.org, and what she did, she set a site up, and people just get on it and leave a comment that all she wants to know is your 3 things that you either love, that you hate, or that you would change, or that you covet or that you're thankful for? Just my 3 things. And she accumulated literally thousands of these things through a user-generated site where people just leave a comment, such as a little contact form. In WordPress, you can use contact form 7 for people to write a message to you and give it to you. And she created this book. And what's beautiful about the book is, first off, all the people that wrote something want to buy a copy, and then they want a couple copies and their parents, so that's instant pre-sales right there. The second thing is that it's always great to get the best-selling books are these little snippets of information, not these long tomes or too much that glaze the eyes over, but these cute little things that people think about. The insights of people that you don't know are usually some of the most beautiful and delicious insights other than your own that you could possibly ever accumulate. And a whole book of those are very interesting. User-generated content. Think about all the things that you can collect from people and sell as a book. Blog to book's been around a while. The Blog Squad taught this years ago, but collecting all your posts and the comments and everything of an ongoing and popular blog, such as yours or anyone else's, can be instantly pretty much turned into a book fairly quickly. This is how we started on this, a book in 60 days, a book in 30 days. You know, people would say, you can write a book in 30 days, and then they wouldn't tell you how to do it, and then you paid the $197 for them to show you, and all they did was download all the files from WordPress into a PDF, and you have a book, okay? And then you just go in and like edit it and put it together. That's great information because, again, the comments are just as good and juicy as the information that you're providing 90% of the time. Social media sites, we've offered best stories on Facebook, best photos on Instagram, all these kinds of things that can be accumulated for, again, a nice book. What about this? An info anthology. What if you just went around to different, then asked them, how did you start your business and how did it become so successful? And let's say you just ask 25 people that and created an anthology, and then you split the proceeds with each one of those people evenly. Well, who do we think did this first? The Chicken Soup guys. They used the anthology model to the tune of 170 million books or some ridiculous amount like that, okay? 170 million books, my friends, that they didn't write a single word. Imagine that, and the franchise that came off of that without writing a single word. That blows my mind, if it doesn't blow yours. Tom says, I don't believe Chicken Soup was shared revenue. You got me there, Tom. It's probably not. I think they just, it was actually, and this is something that you want to do if you can, take the stories and just use it as branding and advertising for that business and just trade off on that. You don't have to really offer revenue. I know some people, such as some friends of mine, that have gotten together with some big name marketers and gotten together a book real quick, and then they advertised it to their list, and we did all share. And they did all share the revenue. That is another model to get people on board and to also access their list. So that's something, Tom, you want to think about. But Chicken Soup, you're probably right. It's always great PR, Tom says, that, yeah, if I want to be in the Chicken Soup, they can print my story for free. I'll do it all day long, okay? Think of the power of that thing. Tom's in this book. You know, Tom Antion is in the Entrepreneur's Soul with all this just great books. But think about that. Here's what I did to write a book. I decided I wanted to write a book, and it sold very well, and it was called Life Fully Realized. And what I did was I went to Help a Reporter, which is Haro, Help a Reporter out, helpareporter.com, and I went to Steve Harrison's Reporter Connection. And what these are reporters. What these sites are, these are reporters looking for people like us to interview on their radio shows and stuff. So it's a great place to actually go find a place to get on the radio or TV for free. But what I did was I actually went as a contributor, like one of the reporters, and I said, I'm soliciting a 300 or 500 word story about the person that meant the most to you. And I had a little press release, I had a release form that said that I was going to use it and credit you in the book, but I wasn't going to offer you any monetary compensation for it. I just wanted to keep them and use them and offer you credit. And I didn't know how it would work. And I was inundated with hundreds, my friends, hundreds of stories, okay, from people that just wanted to tell their story and they wanted it to be in a book and they were totally okay with me keeping all the money. Now I had a book that I assembled out of the blue from people I've never even met through the internet, all for free. That was so juicy, so beautiful, and so delicious, the stories. All I had to do was just market the uniqueness and the beauty of this book. And it was I wanted it to be another Chicken Soup kind of franchise, just kind of on a spiritual thing or a personal level. So that worked great for me, and you want to try that yourself. But I really want to tell you this. This is great, and I'm going to give you an example of how to make real money every month for the book that you didn't write. And this is my friend M, and she told me not to reveal her identity, and I'm going to respect that. What's her name, Midge? No, I'm just kidding. You didn't hear that. So anyway, my friend M, what she did, she worked for a while in a particular, very public, very visible, very interesting industry. And no, it wasn't being a hooker, okay? Even though it would have been good, that would have been funny. But she worked with a whole group of people in a giant town. We're going to call it Las Vegas. And she went around, and these people had to deal with the public on all these strange experiences all the time. And they always had all these funny stories they sit around the bar telling. They were hilarious. Well, she decided to go around with a tape recorder and record a story from each one of these people. So she had an entire tape recording, hours and hours worth of these stories. They were hilarious, okay? Well, she spent about $165. I know this is the only variation from my no out-of-money pocket. Of course, you could do it yourself if you sit down and have the time. But she had the audio tapes transcribed and then created a PDF out of it. Okay? Beautiful. She designed a cover. She uploaded the PDF to Kindle. It was so hilarious and so viral and left so many great reviews that she's been selling anywhere between 150 to 200 copies every month, just on Kindle now, not even an ebook or anything that she had to create or sell anywhere else. For the last 2 years at $10 a piece. So that's $1,500 to $2,000 a month of passive income for a book she didn't even write. Okay? Besides the money for the transcription, she got the stories for free. She didn't write the book. She designed a cheap cover, or Kindle designed a cover for her and helped her design a cover. She uploaded it. She doesn't even have a website. She doesn't have a shopping cart. She doesn't have Facebook, nothing. Kindle sells everything through their search engine and just sends her the money every month. $2,000 a month. What could you do with that kind of money? That's my story, M. What to do with old products. And we talked about this in the beginning. Old products you don't always have to shelve them or throw them in the garbage. Yeah, some of us are still riding the dinosaur there in the stuff that we're selling. So one piece of advice is to update everything you do. Break the video content into smaller YouTube videos. I had old videos and DVD content that was slightly outdated, but it was still good for advertising. So I broke them into these little 2-minute snippets and stuff and threw them on YouTube and garnered hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views. It just brought brand new traffic to the updated versions of the products that I now still sell. I can collect old products together and have an end of blowout sale. If you're familiar with Tom's end of the year blowout, that's exactly what he does with some of his stuff. Edit out the gems. Product systems and CDs, some of it might be outdated, but some of it's still good. If you can go in and find the gems, you can take those out and kind of repackage and rebrand it into a new and relevant product. Of course, you can create an antiques tab on your website if you dare and try to sell them there. I'm just kidding. And then also you can use old CDs and DVDs for skeet practice. I've done that too. That's funny. And I love it. But here's what I really wanted to share with you tonight. And this is the first time I've ever told this story ever to anyone except a few very high-paying clients that wanted to know exactly what I did and the funnels that I made to make a certain product. But once upon a time, I want to tell you the story of how I got paid $1,200 to make a product that made me $30,000. I know that's why you guys are here tonight, to get this. But, well, Mark Bullard, if you know him, the video guru guy, if you know both of us at all, we've been working together for a long time with very, very, very successful partnership. But there was a time when we first started working together and we said, well, we were teaching this video retreat at Tom's to the mentees, and we thought, well, why don't we just like take what we teach Tom's mentees about video and marketing and just make like a live virtual workshop via webinar. And we said, oh, that's cool. So we created this webinar, and we just made a few slides up, and we got a microphone, and we sat around it like two radio broadcasters together, and we had a couple beers and stuff, and we're sitting there and we're designing this this workshop we were going to have. We decided that we were going to, really step it up. It was really a lot of material, so we charged $197. And what it was every Wednesday night. This is about 2.5 years ago. It was every Wednesday night for 2 hours for 4 sessions, so it's 8 hours total. But it went from like 7 to 9 or something like that. And that was our product. That was the whole thing. That's all we could think of, is this virtual workshop. And so we told our friends. I told Vicki, and we told, and she wasn't there, and we told our parents, and we contacted all of Tom's mentees and blah, yada, and we were so proud of it, and we thought we'd make a fortune, and nobody came up. Nobody bought it. And we were kind of disappointed in that, because we thought we were a little more highfalutin in the industry here than we were. But it was terrible. And but then, I contacted somebody that I'd known for a while, and I said, can you please, promote it to your list? And somebody gave us a big break. Yes, that's right. It was good old Jeff Herring. Now you guys know why I love this man so much, okay? He is fantastic, and he has no idea the ball he started rolling that one afternoon. He decided to send it out to his list. So, of course, we thought we were going to make like 100, 120, maybe 130,000, something manageable like that, because his list is like 80,000 or 100,000 people, okay? Well, only 6 people signed up off of 80,000 people, because nobody knew who the hell we were. Okay, nobody knew who we were, and so we got 6 people. But hey, that was $1,200. I mean, that was a lot of money. It's the most money I'd made at the time. This is 3.5 years ago or something like that. I'd made more money with ebooks, but not anything like a real live training. Nobody really ever wanted to talk to me. The ebooks I made a fortune from were actually done under a girl's name, under a pseudonym. I'm not going to get into that right now, but that was a lot of fun back in them days. But we've made $1,200, so we were kind of happy. But now we were obligated to sit here for a month, okay, every Wednesday night for 2 hours and do this thing. Do that or give the money back. Well, typical of most webinars, including some of the ones I've done and everyone else, only one person out of the 6 even bothered to show up live on any of each week during the workshop. So we sat there and we did a 2-hour presentation each Wednesday night for an entire month to one person, who let us know that she was drinking wine, bottles and bottles of wine, at the beginning of each workshop, and slowly got more plastered as the 2 hours went on, till she started writing strange things in the chat box, and things and utterances that I can't possibly even say here. And it was hilarious. And I thought it was, and we would just laugh at all the things. And yeah, I think, what's that? I think that's a picture of her right there. And you can see that we had this person captivated with our beautiful video live workshop. Okay, we held this webinar every Wednesday night on anymeeting.com, which is free webinar software. So if you haven't tried it, look into that. We recorded this live workshop with the free recording software they get. That was totally free. And then we created the slides for the workshop with Google Drive, so we didn't even have to pay for Word or PowerPoint, and it was free. So everything was free about this, and we got the $1,200. What we ended up with was hours, again, of recorded screen capture videos that we uploaded to YouTube. And that was free to host, okay? And we also took the webinar slides for free and created a free PDF and called it the Fast Track Guide, okay? So that was really cool. So we created this system called the Easy Video Creation System. And we really thought it was cool, and there's the banner for it. And we proceeded to write everyone on earth to promote it for us, okay? So we designed this little 90-minute free webinar called the YouTube Super Secrets, and sold the training system the Easy Video Creation Training System at the end for $97. So for 90 minutes, we talked about all this cool marketing stuff you can do with your YouTube videos, the super secrets, and you can see the banner for that. And then and we pitched the product at the end, and everyone jumped on this bandwagon and started promoting this thing for us because why? It was free information for their community that was great. And every product we sold, we owed 40% of the commission of the $97 to the host. So they jumped all over it. So dozens of the biggest names, people that never even talked to us, I've never even met, Internet marketing promoted the free webinar to their email list. Even Tom, one Saturday morning at 11 a.m., which is like 7 or 8 a.m. in California, okay? I hadn't even had my coffee yet. And I'm like, why are we doing this thing at Saturday morning? And Tom said, just wait. And he promoted it to his list. We did this YouTube Super Secrets, and in less than 2 hours, we sold 57 training systems, which are all digital-based. And, well, we didn't even have the trifecta going at the time. It was all digital-based. In less than 2 hours, that's $5,600 we made, okay, in just 2 hours, just Tom alone. While we worked with all these different people, we made nearly, just that small season in 3 or 4 months, nearly $30,000 in sales from just the joint venture partners promoting it to their commission. But we didn't stop there. Dig this, okay? At the checkout, we also upsold information membership site called the Millionaire Marketers Club, and all it is was a bunch of MP3s from all the teleclasses that we had for the previous 3 years with a group called NetAim, and those people paid by the month for me to have a call with them about a certain topic, and Mark do it too, and Tom as well. And we must have had like 150 of these recordings, okay? And we put them all in one site, and we called it Millionaire Marketers Club. They're just teleclass recordings, and we sold it for $9.95 a month at checkout, an upsell. And nearly 12 people at each webinar would buy the upsell. It's $120 a month, recurring every month for each webinar that we did with that joint venture partner. So this literally turned out to be hundreds of people that were subscribing to this membership site, and literally thousands of dollars a month coming in that still roll in to this very day, my friends, 3 years after the webinar was over, okay? That upsell is still going on. We also decided to contact everybody and hold these alumni-only private and live workshops just for the customers of the Easy Video Creation System, where we answered questions, and the biggest part of it was we updated new material because YouTube changes all the time and it's hard to keep up with the changes. And so we promised updated material so they would all join in. But what we would do was we would upsell in those workshops a do-for-you program where we would shoot and edit these for you for $727 a package, coaching package, and help you market it too. So now we just took a $97 funnel opening, upsold it into recurring income, then upsell a $727 coaching program. Not only that, we sold them the equipment on Amazon that they didn't know what equipment to buy. We put it together for them and slightly marked that up as well. Then Mark got the bright idea of taking the whole 8 hours of webinar recordings and having them transcribed. Cost us $175, and it created a 400-page book that we sold as an ebook, Kindle, and printed book, 400 pages, and it still sells to this day. We also broke down the webinar recordings into 2-minute little snippets and got over 110,000 views on YouTube promoting the Easy Video Creation System, all for free. Then we broke the entire 8 hours of the video recordings into 16 individual modules, such as video for Facebook, lighting techniques, editing techniques, how to shoot outside, all the different modules we talked about, broke them into 16 individual ones, and sold them on ClickBank for $27 each. But we weren't selling them, my friends. Hundreds of affiliates on ClickBank were selling these things on their websites, making us money 24/7 from the original 8-hour recordings. And if that's not enough, Mark had to go to Warrior Forum and created a product which is just the story I just told you, and he used a PDF of basically these slides here and some screen capture videos and made a product called How to Get Paid to Make Your Own Product. And he sold it on Warrior Forum for $7 and made a bunch of money. All this, and we got paid $1,200 to figure it out. And thousands and tens of thousands of dollars later, just because of Jeff Herring, a famous internet marketer, one drunk lady on a live webinar with us, and that in $1,200, we were able to create this gigantic training system and product funnel that still makes money today in various amounts, all on automatic, all for free. And that is the story of how I made a passive and very large income with an empire of information products with no money up front. So I could go gem hunting in the wilderness 10 weeks. And you can see there, those are my aquamarine crystals, North Carolina aquamarine. It's not South American aquamarine. It's not African aquamarine. It's North Carolina aquamarine. It is the bomb. It is awesome. And I love it. And that is how I created this empire for myself and how you can do the same. And yeah, that was a lot, okay? And this is it. This is it for tonight. I know we've been here. It's 10 after 8. I know you guys got better things to do than listen to all this. And if you haven't fallen asleep yet, I do have a Q&A, and I want to answer some questions in case you guys want to know some more insider stuff. And this is my Q&A is usually the best part. But wait for one little free gift before you go. I want to offer you a consultation. I just explained all this stuff, and I went through it rather quickly. And what I want to do is talk to you for 20, 30 minutes about where you are in your product creation empire. Do you have products? Are you selling them right? How many products do you sell that haven't been repurposed into all the other products I showed you, the 21 different revenue streams? Do you have files and you don't understand even where to start or begin? I know it's a little different. And we can talk for a few minutes, 20 or 30 minutes. I just want to offer a free consultation to you. No obligation to do anything. I just want to talk to you. I just want to make sure that you're utilizing this product empire, this zero-cost product empire properly. You know why? Not for any gain of mine and not for really any gain of yours, even though I'd love for you to make money. I really would love to see the people that need you most access to the products that can help them the best. Is that okay? Did I keep my promise tonight of offering you about what I would learn tonight? If you enjoyed this presentation and you think you learned something and you want to take me up on the free consultation, there's no obligation. I just want to call you up and talk to you, and that's it. And I'll help you implement any of this stuff. Just tell me where you're at, and I'll tell you the next steps, and that'll be it, and we'll part our ways, okay? Put yes in the chat box if you enjoyed the presentation tonight and you learned something. All you have to do is go to expertwebwriting.com/help. There's a little form over there, and it says a name and phone number and a couple challenge questions, wanting to know where you are with your products. And then you'll be redirected to a scheduler. You don't have to schedule right now. You can just write me some other time and tell me that you want to call me like next week or a month from now. It doesn't matter. Whenever you're ready to have the call, I'd love to talk to you. And even if you don't want to call at all, if you just want to chat via email, just send me an email at videopower@live.com. You'll see the information on the next page over there at expertwebwriting.com/help. And I'm here to help. This is what I want to do. This has worked for me. I know it will work for you. These are things that really work. This is how the gurus make their money. I've spilled lots of secrets now. I'm not asking for anything except to call you and talk to you and help you take one step further that can get you creating products that help your customers the most and create a win-win for you, society, and everybody else. And that's all we want to talk about tonight. So if you don't want to miss out on the opportunity, I'm available. I'm making myself available. I'm going to go ahead and have Q&A now. If you want to have any questions, I'm going to roll back through here and see some of the comments. Julia says, Colin, for your information, your connection is no longer running. Oh, great. What? Are you serious, Julia? Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll email everyone that signed register for this thing, maybe some new updated, but that report, the helpareporter.com still works because I keep getting that every day. Well, thank you for that. And I wonder what happened. That's interesting, Julie. Well, anyway, thanks for that. Julia says she uses her old CDs as drink coasters. I like that. And Chris has left a whole bunch of weird stuff. I think she's drunk too tonight. Julia says Jeff Herring is cool. Katie says, which of the print on demand does the training notebook minders, or do they also insert tabs? Yes, you can do anything you want. And Vervante has the cheapest and best binder printing. Now, okay, Katie, let me say, I mean, you could probably go somewhere and have binders made at a printer that might do everything that you need, but it's gonna cost you money up front. No one's gonna let you do what Vervante does, which is make a nice binder for you. They make it there, they shrink wrap it, put the postage on it, to your customer, and you never touch it, or they just collect the money, and then they charge your account for each time they create a product system. So if they don't do the tabs, I think they do though. There's a whole, they do so much. They do printed books. They do everything. The price will go up a little bit, but those are only when it's sold. They're Katie. So you don't ever have to have $1 up front to sell a $1,000 system. Like that story I told you about where the girl sold a $1,000 system and it was $85 to print it and ship it to their customer. When that girl started her business, she didn't even have enough money to make or buy her own system. Okay. And when she started doing the joint ventures and selling the $1,000 systems and having Vervante print and sell it for her, she created this massively interesting and wealthy system for people that was impressive, that built her brand, that at one time before she started doing this, she couldn't even afford to buy it herself, not even the $85. And now she was a product machine, all because Vervante did it up front and she had no money. And then she started collecting that $1,000 a pop, and she had money after that. So Dion says he got a late start. Yeah, 8:03, dude. Come on, man. I appreciate you making it here. I appreciate everyone for being here tonight. And if you want the consultation, just go to expertwebwriting.com/help, and I'll give you a free consultation. I'll walk you through the next step no matter where you are in your business. I've done this, and I think I've proven that. So great story. Lily says, the way you teach. Thank you. Tom says, great stuff, inspiring and motivational. So put you a pat on the back. Good stuff. I'd love to get on the consultation with you, Tom. Just fill out the form, and I'll contact you, buddy. What I'll do is I'll call, leave your phone number and what time is best, and I'll call you through Skype. Okay, it won't cost me a dime, you know. So and hopefully it won't cost you a dime either, but it'll be worth it to you, and it'll be a lot of fun. Dave says, I'll take you up on the consultation too. Thanks. Great. Yusuf says, everybody says yes, I did really good tonight. Ellie, Elizabeth, Dave, Ted, Katie, Al, Julia, Chris. Vicky says I did good. Perdita says I did great. This was a packed house tonight. Al says, as usual, you were awesome. Thank you. Julia says, enjoyed the presentation. Would love to chat on Skype. My phone is mucked up right now. That happens, Julia, especially when you live down there in Antarctica like you do. Chris said, learned something new. Well, I hope so. Tom says, the website again, please. That's expertwebwriting.com/help. Tom says, question, how do I pick a topic to build into a content product business? Tom, one of the best ways to do that is there's some software out there that look for the hottest search topics on Google. One is called Keyword Snatcher 2.0. Keyword Snatcher 2.0. I think it's like $47 or something. You don't have to buy that, obviously, but it's just it's a piece of software that has a module that, even though it finds all the keywords pertinent to your business that you may have now, it searches for all the hottest keywords searches on Google. The hottest searches on Google mean that people are looking for information, period. Doesn't matter whether it's to lose weight, lower their blood sugar, make money, get along with their wife, get their kids off of drugs. It does not matter, Tom. If someone, let's just pick a book right now, How to Get Kids Off of Drugs. There's a huge market for that. Well, I don't know how to get my kid off of drugs because he still doesn't. No, I'm just kidding. He never did do them in the first place, so I never had to face that, okay? But you can go around and interview all sorts of experts and get their opinion on how to do that. And you could literally have 40 experts that all you have to do is advertise their business or give them credit and maybe a link to their website or something in the book, and now you have one of the most powerful books written by 40 different experts on getting your kid off of drugs that you now can sell as an ebook on Kindle, as a CD and a DVD system. You can put it on You can sell it as a printed book. You could actually get the whole thing, just get you an agent and see if you can get it published in traditional form and put in the Barnes & Noble. You could take, the sky's the limit on that, Tom. So there's a lot of ways to look. Sometimes you can just Google hottest things people are looking for on Google, and it'll give you a list. It's really cool. Those are a couple of ideas, Tom. If you want me to explain a little bit more, us go through this together, sign up for the free consultation. Love to help you. Clydette says, great webinar. You're a great guy. Thank you. I know. You're great, too. And I love you guys. You guys have been around for a long time with me here, and I love it. And I can't believe it's 20 after 8, and everyone is still here. I think one person has left, unless you guys have really fallen asleep here, which is, interesting. Julia says, Steve decided to do other things. I don't know what that means. Okay. You just need to call me. It says, the weird characters in the chat box are from my cat walking over the keyboard. Oh, you had me worried there. I thought you were drinking it up there. And, Cecilia says, I came in late. Will you please send the link to the replay? I will. I'll mail it to everybody. But Cecilia, you may not remember, my love, but you were one of the first original 6 3 years ago of that story. You missed the whole story. Oh, my God. I wish you'd have seen that. But we talked about how I got 6 people on a live webinar, which started this massive tens of thousands of dollar product empire funnel that I'm so proud of, that I told the story that you conveniently missed. You're one of the 6 people, and one of your dear friends was one of the was the lady getting drunk all the time. So glad you're here tonight. See how many of my old people come and revisit me with these information things. I mean, it's really nice, to have a nice community like this that are serious. John says, is it better to have the attendees getting drunk instead of the webinar host? We did both, John, and it worked out pretty good for us. Youssef said, after the initial consultation, is there further consultations if we need to follow up help? Absolutely. I'm not going to just let you hang from the vine there, Youssef. You know better than that. If you want to keep talking to me, I'm here. I'm not doing anything. That's why I got all these products making money, so I can have some free time to talk to people like you. Elizabeth says, hey, is the automatic schedule Eastern time? Yes, it is. Thank you, Elizabeth. Oh, my God, I need to change that. The automatic scheduler is that you'll see after you click Submit Form. Will take you an automatic scheduler, and those are Eastern times. I'm so sorry. I needed to clarify that. Thank you, Elizabeth. Clydette says, I'm in the process of creating a product now, so this webinar was perfect. Would like a consultation. Clydette, I would be more than happy to talk to you whenever you feel like it. Remember, guys, it doesn't have to be this week. It can be whenever. Ted says, thank you. Your excellent info. Thank you for being here. You have an excellent product, I think. Elizabeth says, hey, it was great. Glenn says, yes, this was great. Thank you, guys. Colin. Joanne says, I just joined you late. Again, other people out partying. I'm used to that from you, Joanne. I love you. What was that resource you mentioned for Vante, or how do you spell it? Let me go back real quick, guys, and this will be, oh, geez. In here, sorry. I'm flipping through the slides here real quick. I just want to show you Vante. My goodness. Wait, really? I spell it for you. You spell it VR. Okay, V-E-R-V-A-N-T-E. Vervante. That's right. And they'll do everything. They're a fantastic resource. And we've been making a fortune using them. And here's a tip that I want you guys to understand before we leave tonight, that your shopping cart handles the order. You get the money in your bank account, just like you're selling something from your website. But the shopping cart could be set up with a secondary notification to send it to Vervante. They get the email, and then they see the order, the information, what it is, the SKU number, and everything that's involved in that product. You've already uploaded the files ahead of time to Vervante. You're just waiting for the orders. And then and then they see the address to ship it to. They'll print it, shrink wrap it, and ship it. Everything, and deliver all the digital files, all the physical things, and then you contact them with autoresponders and thank you pages, setting up the live workshops, live consultations so that you can upsell. You can just create a funnel. Once someone buys one thing, you keep them in the funnel forever. Okay, just like Cecilia here was one of the first 6 to ever buy anything from me, and she still attends these webinars and talks to me on a regular basis, and I love that. Okay, Julia says, I don't drink. Okay, that's nice. Chris says, I'm drinking now, but only tea. You party pooper, you. I love you. Julia says, I took the second generation of that course via Tom. Yes. Cecilia says, I heard the story. I didn't know I was one of the 6. See, you don't have to let anybody know that. Okay. I'm thrilled you remember me. I've been out of the loop for so long. Actually, I thought there were lots of people online. Well, see, that's the funny part is, no one knows how many people are on a webinar. So you can have 4 people on there, and you shouldn't ever get disappointed if you were expecting 200 and you only have 3. You still have to do your best presentation. Why? Because you're recording it, and the recording is the product. The first time I had a teleclass, nobody came, and I talked to myself, okay? And was I embarrassed? Was I disappointed? Did I boo-hoo? No. I made it the recording, and I sold that CD and made thousands and thousands of dollars selling a CD and an MP3 of a teleclass that nobody wanted to be on. So boo-hoo, it doesn't matter how many people are on there or if any. Just keep plugging along and making products. And that's a lesson on that. So Al says, thanks, Colin. Talk to you soon. Yeah. All right, you guys, put any more questions in there. If you have any more questions, of course, I'll just answer them in person on the phone over at expertwebwriting.com help. If you guys want a free consultation, I'll just give you, we're talking 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, however long it takes. I'm not going to keep you there all day, but we want to talk about where you're at, what files you have, what you're doing, where you want to go. If you have no product, I can show you how to get one. If you have files, I can show you how to create products. If you have products and they're not selling, we can talk about the different revenue streams. If the revenue streams are in place and they stink, and you're not selling anything, it might be your marketing, your sales letters. There's all sorts of stuff going on here. So let's just get moving on that. Chris says, thanks, Colin. Great info as always. Thank you, baby. Lily says, it was a pleasure to hear your lovely voice again. Thank you, Lily. I appreciate that. I get comments on my voice, compliments on my voice a lot. Joanne says, thanks. It's always great to hear your voice and your training. Thank you too, Joanne. You have been one of my biggest fans and biggest customers, and you've made huge strides and have a very impressively successful business, and I'm so proud of you. And you're one of the people that I hold up as somebody that everyone should be, Joanne, so I just love that. Dr. Erica, hi, Dr. Erica. Will there be a recording? I got here late. Yep, I'm sending it out to everybody tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to stop the recording right now. Of course, I'm still